Okay, so again, read through this. If you haven't tried it on your own, do that first, because that's going to help you do better on a test. Because I might put questions that are maybe not exactly the same, but similar. And again, if you haven't tried to think through this on your own and you just kind of watch the video, it might make it harder. So again, pause, do it, and then come back. So let me go ahead and do these. All right, so number 3, and again, this is page CA22. So if this is a fifth of a cup of butter, we're defining that as a fifth. And so a cup of butter would be 5/5 would make a whole. So again, we kind of want to measure, but you know, if this is the size of 1/5, I do 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, and 5/5. And so this would be my whole stick of butter. That would be how long it is. So however long that is, I need 5 iterations to get 5/5. All right, so now letter B is, okay, so they give us kind of this strip, and they say that this is 3/5 liter of juice. Okay, so, and again, they want a whole. So I need to figure out what my unit fraction is, and remember 3/5 is 3 sets of 1/5, or 3 iterations of a fifth. So I have 3 as my number, this is my unit. Remember, your numerator is the number of items you have. The denominator is your actual unit. So I know I have 3 things. So I just have to cut this into thirds because I know, and again, that's a little, try to get them as equal as possible. So these, I have 3 things. So this is a fifth, a fifth, a fifth. And again, that might be a little too big. So again, sometimes it's hard to cut perfectly. All right, that looks a little better. So I know that this is a fifth, a fifth, a fifth, okay? And I cut it in 3 because I knew my numerator was 3. I had 3 things, and the fifth is what they're worth. Okay, so now they want a whole. So again, you know, I know this is 3/5 right there. So there's 1/5, 2/5, 3/5. And again, not quite. So if this is 3/5, all right, I don't like my drawing. Sorry, I'm going to go again. So if this is my 3/5, I'm just copying down what I have above. So there's my 3/5, then I need 2 more fifths to get up to my whole liter of juice. Because again, a whole would be 5 iterations of a fifth. So there's my 5/5. All right, so C gives me 4/9 of a pound of flour. So again, I'm just going to kind of draw my rectangle, and this is 4/9 pounds of flour. And again, they want me to draw 1 pound. So again, understanding that this is 4 sets of 1/9, or 4 iterations, 4 iterations of a ninth, like 1/9, 1/9, 1/9, 1/9, 4 times. I know that this needs to be cut into 4 pieces so that I have my numerator, because I have 4 things. So I'm going to kind of cut it in half, cut those in half again. And I have 4 pieces again, make this a little bit better. So I have 4 pieces, and each piece is worth a 1/9. Because again, remember, your denominator is your unit. So I have 4 1/9. So 1 iteration, 2 iterations, 3, and 4. And so now I want to build up to a pound of flour. So I'm actually going to draw that guy once, and I know that's 4/9. And I'm going to draw that guy again. And that's another 4/9. And again, if you want to show the fact that that's 4/9, you can. But I know 4/9 and 4/9 is 8/9. I just need 1 more 9th. So sometimes kids will draw, you know, their 4/9, another 4/9, 8, and then 9/9 to get a whole. But other times they will draw just the strip because they know this is 4/9, so they actually won't cut it. They'll just say, well, that's 4/9, and then they'll draw it again because they know that's 4/9, and then they would just measure the 1/9 out there, and that's okay too. So 9/9 or 4/9, 4/9, and 1/9 would all equal whole. So either way is totally fine. All right, so let's look at D. Okay, so D gives us this long strip and says it, so here's my long strip, and it says I have 6/5 kilograms of sugar, and again, our goal is to draw 1. So again, this means I have 6 iterations or 6 sets of 1/5. So the numerator is how many objects I have in here. The 1/5 is the value of them. So I need to cut this into 6 pieces. So I'm going to do my best. That one might not be as good as I like, but all right. So I have 6 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and each of them has a value of 1/5. So I know this is 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5. I have 6 iterations of 1/5. Now, to get a whole, I want 1 or 5/5. And so I know that ends right there. So if I'm going to draw a picture, I can make sure it starts where that guy starts and then ends the same place. It's the same length. So I know that this is what? 1 kilogram of sugar. All right. So then for number 4 on this page, it says that, okay, so it says on this one, discuss how 3 in the numerator of the fraction 3 and then a cloud is like 3 in the number 3 cloud is base 10. How are unit fractions like base 10 units? All right. So if I have like say 3/8, all right, and then how is that like some number like 342? Okay. And so again, this 3 in here, remember, means something. It means that I have 3 flats, or it means that I have 3 units of 100 each. That's what that 3 stands for. It tells me the number of a certain place value or a certain value. Well, the 3 here means the same thing. This means I have 3 of something, okay? So I could, I don't know, I'll draw 3 of something. I'll just draw 3 separate boxes, right? And the value of each box is this guy. So this is telling me that I have that the value of each box is an 8, okay? Another example is like, say I'm comparing 5, 6 to 5,322, okay? The 5, well, I guess they only did hundreds, didn't they? Sorry, we'll make it 532 to be consistent. Okay, and again, we're not focusing on these guys. This 5 tells me that I have 5 items. I literally have 5 items. And the value of those items is on the place value. And so these are each worth 100 because that's the place that they are in. And that's in base 10, okay? This, in a sense, is kind of like base 6, but it's really the value of each strip is 1/6. And so if we think of like our hexagon when we did the triangles, this tells me that I have 5 units, 5 things, and the value of each of those 5 things is the 1/6, 1/6, 1/6, 1/6, 1/6, okay? And then it also tells me I would regroup when I hit 6. Like I'm kind of in base 6. So when I hit 6, 6, I would regroup. So that's how they're similar. The numerator is truly the number of items you have. The denominator is the value of those. Just like in a place value system, the 5 is the actual number of items I have. In this case, I have flats. And then the value of each flat is 100 in base 10. And so that's kind of how they're both similar. So I kind of hit both in all of it, but you know, fractions and base 10 are similar because you have an item and that there's a place value associated with that item. And here it's base 10, here it's other bases, okay? All right, so hopefully that helps with that first lab. I think I'll make a separate video for each lab.